Hey guys, well, in today's video I'm actually changing out the lower control arms on our '01 Dodge Grand Caravan. I think these lower control arms, they were replaced last at the dealership back in, I think it was 2013. So I've already started with this, but I just wanted to give a few pointers as I'm going through, because I ran into some problems with us living here in Chicago. We live in the Rust Belt, so we get a lot of corrosion from road salt and the snow and everything like that. So basically what you want to do, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you take off the nut for the ball joint here. It's actually, what's the size? It's an 18 millimeter. It's an 18 millimeter. I was able to get ours off by using this side of the 18 millimeter, to get it spun off, at least up until it started hitting the ABS sensor, which is right here. Okay. Once you do that, then you're going to have to, pry the ball joint down to get the rest of it off, which I didn't have a problem. I used some of these locking pliers here to hold the ball joint, like right down here. Yeah, right down here, so it wouldn't spin anymore. They do have a fitting on top here. I don't remember what the size is for it, but what I am going to do when I install the new one, I'm going to actually have to fabricate one of my Allen wrenches and cut it down so it can fit up in there. I'll show you guys that. So anyway, I had to take off the subframe bracket here. It's a good idea to number all of the bolts on the frame as well as the bolt itself, so that you know the location of them, because I think there's 3 different sizes for it. As you can see here, this is the back part. This is the back bushing of the lower control arm. This is the bolt right here. There's actually a nut that goes on this end right here that is giving me a hard time. It's seized inside of the metal bracket that's inside of the actual lower control arm here, inside the actual bushing. So what I've already removed the driver's side. I'll show you that. But what I had to do was I had basically just lifted this up and down, and as you can see it's actually moving. And what it does is this actually broke it loose on the inside. This is what I did on the driver's side, because I got it on loose, but I couldn't get it out. Like, I pounded it out on this end. Don't have a lot of space with a hammer. And you see on this side, I was able to get it out some. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my air saw, I'm going to cut this head off, and I'm going to use my air hammer, and then I'm going to knock the bolt going back towards the rear part of the van. Same thing I did on the driver's side, and it worked beautifully. So this is the air saw that I'm using. I think it took about maybe 5 minutes when I did it on the driver's side. So let me take you over there so I can just show you what it looks like without the lower control arm in there. Alright, so as you can see, I already got the lower control arm off on this side. So basically all you got to do is just make sure that you clean up in here. I just used some brake cleaner on the outside as well. And here's a look at the back part of the actual lower control arm. So basically that back bushing, it fits all the way up in there. So I just wanted to give you a picture of this so that you'll know, because there have been questions coming up where people have asked if, what kind of suspension do I have? Do I have the heavy duty or do I have a standard? And I honestly didn't know on our van. I'm assuming it's probably standard, but the only available option at AutoZone, as far as in the store, was the heavy duty. It looks like it's going to fit, but I'll fit it in here and then I'll let you know. Okay, so just wanted to show you another good idea is to use some zip ties if you have the power steering fluid cooler, which is that right there. And then further back you have the canister, which is, right there. That's for the fuel. I believe it's one of the canisters for the evap system. So you can zip tie that, because when you lower the cradle, it's actually going to, it's actually going to allow those things to hang, because they actually attach to the cradle. So just have some zip ties for it. I actually put our cradle back up temporarily because right here there's like this big huge bolt. I forgot what size it is, but basically on the driver's side, when I was replacing the bracket pinion, I accidentally was tightening this and I thought I was loosening it. I broke the head off. So now the other side over there, it's pretty much stuck up in there, so I can't pull this down. And I really rather not do that, only because I haven't had any problems over all these years. And so all I do is just take this one out and slide it back. And let me show you that bolt right now. Okay, so here's that bolt that I was telling you about. As you can see, you know, it's corroded like really bad. I want to try to just go ahead and replace it, and you know, hopefully it won't cost too much. And then this is the actual rubber bushing, and this part here is rubber, this part is metal, and then this top part is metal. And you can see all up in there, you see this thing is corroded too. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to replace this, or if I'm going to just sandblast and just try to clean it up. Depends on how much it costs, but I really would like to replace it because it just looks terrible. I mean, just look at that. So here is the control arm for the passenger side, and as you can see, you know, this is the rear bushing here. It has 3 grooves on it right there. This is the metal insert in the bushing that the bolt seized up to, which you can see it right in there. This is the bolt right here. Okay, so you see. So what I did was I cut that end off there, and as you can see, I don't know if they use anti-seize on this or not, but it's a good idea to use some anti-seize when you put this back together, when you replace it. Okay, so let me grab the new one so that I can compare those for you. Okay, so here's the new, this is the new lower control arm. This is from AutoZone. And really the only difference that I see is just this rubber bushing. It only has one of these grooves in it right here as opposed to the other one. But outside of that, and then the back part here looks a little different. Here, I'll turn it around so that you can see. So, see. So I haven't fitted in there yet. I'm going to try it and see if it fits. But everything else, as far as the way that the angles and all of this stuff, and the way the bushings are here, which you can see, I mean, they're pretty much, you know, the same. Yeah. So the Mopar part was about $500. This one from AutoZone was only, I think, 116 or something like that. So here, let me show you the number. So this is the number right here. Zadora Last. There's also a separate one for the driver's side as well. All right, so I'm gonna, as soon as I get my new bolts, pivot bolts, I'll go ahead, put everything back together, and then I'll, you know, let you know, show you the progress. Okay, so the bolts finally came, the pivot bolts for the lower control arms, and this is it right here. And this is an OEM part. Here it is next to the old bolt. Let me take the nut off here. Okay, so that way you can see. So, see, exact same match. So, as you can see on this one, this was definitely worn on the inside. And these are the part numbers. So this is the part number from Mopar Parts Direct for the bolt, and then this is the number for the actual. Let me see here. This is the number for the actual nut itself. So the washer actually comes with the bolt, and then the nut comes separate. So make sure you order those. If you forget, the old nut should work, but I advise to try to order it. And I think this was about $35 with shipping and handling. It took about 4 days. Okay, so let me show you. I finished the passenger side, so let me show you that. Okay, so over here on the passenger side, I got everything together. I installed new stabilizer bar end links here. The other ones were worn pretty bad. These bolts are torqued at 65 foot-pounds. Here's the new control arm, which you can see right here. Good idea is to make I use some bearing grease to put on the inside so that it would make it easier to slide this bushing up in here. Let's see. And then here's the new bolt right here. I put anti-seize on the whole bolt from the tip all the way through to the other side here. Okay, and another thing, make sure that when you tighten this has to be tightened to 135 foot-pounds. Make sure that the actual weight of the vehicle is on this control arm. So probably what you can do is you could just use your floor jack and jack this up underneath the ball joint and about the wheel height, and then tighten up this bolt here. All right, so I'm gonna finish up on the driver's side. Oh, let me show you something over there right quick. Okay, you can see on this side I already got the actual lower control arm in and everything. And oh yeah, and also I replaced, you look up there, I replaced the actual stabilizing bar bushings too, and I sandblasted it and painted it. It actually looks really good. This bolt here, I put the old bolt in just so I can make sure this was lined up correctly. But when you put it in, it goes towards the back of the van. You're going to have to put your floor jack on the fluid pan on the transmission to jack it up a little bit, so that way you can put that bolt in. Just make sure that you're ready to put the bolt in when you do it, because you don't want to leave it like that. Okay, so if you guys have any questions or anything, just let me know, and I'll actually report back to you and let you know how she rides, if the knocking and everything, if it's gone.